Hey, Lund, I've got an idea.
Huh.
Maybe get to the pot on time.
Oh, yeah. Good thing you saved that. Why didn't you just start it like last time and shit talk me until I got in here? That's cool, too.
No.
Well, that wouldn't be a good idea. Do you see what's going on here? Well, yeah,
I
that's
didn't
the
see
only
it the
reason I
first
said
time.
it. I don't care.
Yeah, it was just a
Well,
light
I
bulb
feel
bit.
bad. I'm not
That's all
trying
right,
to
but
make you guys wait.
Here's a cool idea. Pay attention when I do 6 sight gags on the pod. To the listener, the
went for
audio listener, I have a light bulb positioned above my head that I can turn on or off whenever I want to.
You went for a very minimalist spot in Paris, huh? I like to imagine it's just that, what we see, and then a typewriter.
I will send you, pretty much, I'll send you a video my dad took of me here in the loft. I arrived today, and boy, Duddy Dave T was not ready to let me in. I'll tell you what. I was like, Dad, I don't know where we are. Can you come get me? Like 3 minutes pass. He finally comes stumbling out. He's like, oh, hey, buddy. Like, he didn't know I'd been waiting there. I try to give him a hug. He kind of like brushes by me to look down the street because there's a babe he's been ogling the last 2 days who lives somewhere near here. Yeah. And then we like walk up after my 4-hour train ride. We walk upstairs and he passes by some small Chinese guy and he's like, hey, buddy, does that light in the kitchen turn on? And then the guy speaks in indecipherable Vietnamese French. And my dad's like, all right, I'll give it a try. And it's like, you didn't understand a word that man just said to you.
Same to you, sir. It's like, what?
Yes.
No.
All right. Carry on.
Right,
Keeping on.
Back at you. Hey, you're speaking my language. It's like, he's literally not.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
He's not. He's not speaking any of the languages you speak. So then we get up here, and then I come in the room to change. Next thing I know, guess who's prying at the door to my room? Said Asian guy.
Whoa.
And I'm like, hey, no. And he knocks, and I'm like, no, I'm in here. And I see the handle go to move, and I'm like, do not enter. So then I walk out of my room. I don't know where my dad is. I walk into the kitchen, and I see that Asian man scrambling through the window in the kitchen onto the porch that is in my room. And I'm like, hey, Dad, what's that Asian guy doing here? And he says, I don't know. He's in here? And I was like, yeah, he's in here. And he said, where? And I said, he went out the window. So now me and my dad go look out the window. We can't find him. We go look in the room that enters into that terrace. He's gone. So the first like 60 seconds I've been in Paris, in this house, I've just been deceived by some old Asian trickery.
What? I don't even... It's a real puzzle, huh? He
went out the window, and then I see him go around, and I'm like, me and my dad, then we go look for him, and then we go look in the room, which is the only way to get out of there. He's not in there. So maybe he's just in the walls here. Also, there's one toilet. There's one toilet here, and it's very small, and it's in the middle of the living room. It's literally hidden in a closet in the living room. So you're just like chilling, and then you're like, oh, I got to use the toilet, and then you shit really loudly, like inside of, Indian in the cupboard style.
Did you pick
I don't
this
know what
place?
Dave T's been up to. I picked it out, yeah. Spent a nice pretty penny. Didn't count the toilets.
Didn't count the Vietnamese French.
Failed plan from the get. Because he knows I need my own toilet. I mean, there is a bathtub in my room, but still, one toilet, and it looks like Doctor Who would change in there. I don't know Doctor Who very well. Wasn't there like a changing booth?
It's a phone booth, but it's bigger on the inside. It's time and relative dimension and space. I call it the TARDIS.
Sure. Save it, Becker. Save it for your podcast called I Just Fell Asleep Listening to This. No, but Doctor, what about a phone booth? You know, it'd be fun as a foam booth. Like if you get in there and it's just like hit a button and it fills up with party foam.
I could be into that.
Yeah, you could be if I shoved you in and hit the button.
Yeah,
tape the button shut. Yeah, that'd be sick.
That's
I got a lot
show,
of cool
Dr.
ideas.
When?
Yeah,
Yes.
Doctor.
What
Why
time
am I
is
watching
it? Party
this?
time.
Doctor, who cares? Millions of people for 50 years.
63.
Yeah. 63 inches tall. That's you, Becker.
That'd be living. I didn't know your dad was going to be
5'3".
over there. That's cool. But you were alone in Amsterdam for a couple days, right?
Oh, I was in Amstercram having an Amsterscram, man. I was up in it. I was every which way but loose. Yeah, I haven't seen you guys since what? Sunday? Since we flew from Omaha?
Yeah.
Yeah, damn. I had those 2 shows at the Comedy Fort that I wanted to cancel because I felt terrible. And then,
that was the tail end of a tough run.
Hey, if you want to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk.
I'm sure they
I left it all in the field.
I'll bet that helped.
Yeah, they were good shows. Packed to the gills, brimming, bursting, stuffed. I couldn't do a meet and greet, so I was worried everyone thought I was big leaguing them. But I just wanted to die. I was busy in the green room killing Ryan Noel with whatever disease I had.
Yeah, he doesn't have a strong immune system, I wouldn't imagine.
Well, we should start passing a hat now then.
I didn't catch anything.
Well, yeah, but you only get weird bat viruses. You're like man bat.
I was sure I was going to have something.
Yeah, I was trying to kill you too. Lund, what about you?
I had like a sore throat Tuesday, Wednesday, but that was it. And I had to work, so it was annoying. And then Thursday, Friday, yesterday, I slept like most of the day. So I don't know. Maybe I got a little something, but it might not have been from you either, because that's a few days after I probably would have gotten sick from you.
Also,
Maybe,
you randomly sleeping for
plane.
20 hours is not a sign of any symptom. You know, you could just conk
well,
out
no,
every
the
now
sore
and then.
The sore throat was the thing. Yeah, the sleeping's fine.
Well, yeah, but you did blow all those random dudes. So
no, I
that
did
might
not.
have something to do with it.
Blowmaha. They weren't random.
Where was
they
that?
were carefully selected. They won a contest.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Becker groomed them on the Discord, and he tricked them. They thought they were blowing Becker, but really, they had a round mouthful. Be funny if your penis was also fat. You ever think about that?
I wish.
If you gain weight.
If it was chubby, yeah. If it was schlubby.
Look how round my head is.
Cool head.
Look how round it is. I have an idea. I should always wear a hat on here.
Yeah, me too. I'm looking at my receding hairline. I haven't looked at it in a while because I've been rocking the hats. Lund hats.
Oh, shut up! You're perfect.
Now I look like Becker.
It's
I'm
like
more
that
Becker
game.
than Lund.
It's like that screensaver. It's like that screensaver where you watch it at it's like the Circuit City, and it just.
Yeah, see if you can get right in the corner.
Is this good?
Yeah, more visual stuff.
This is good audio.
Watch the videos.
Yeah, because you guys begged for him for years, and we finally delivered. Sock it to me. So, I don't know, man.
Jesus. All right.
Did you just get sock
You're
it to me?
floating over there.
Are you on severe delay?
No, I get it. I'm reacting in disbelief at your choices right now.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm going to turn on my improv light. So, you guys know, I told you about the improv light, right?
No.
Oh my God. I'd take improv classes when I was like 18 or 19, and I'd come home back to Krusty and Bonzo's house, and they'd be like, I'd say something funny, and they'd be like, "Oh wow, your improv light's on," and it's like, "You sons of bitches."
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just
you did
being
tell us
funny.
about
Okay,
that. Yeah,
I thought so.
I don't remember it. Keep talking.
Well, that's the whole thing. Is I would just like be entertaining and funny, and they'd be like, turn your improv light off," and I'd be like, "This is my whole thing. You guys have kick flips."
Extinguish the fire inside of you.
Mm-hmm. You guys have.
They tried to hold you back.
Blunt slides. Oh, for sure. They tried to snip my wings, but guess what? The penguin doesn't need his wings. I'm the penguin.
The penguin can resort to kicking.
Yes. Oh, yeah. So after we did the fucking 2 shows in Fort Collins, I recorded all the Wide World stuff. So That should be out, but so Pat gets to the hotel room in Fort Collins and he's like, "Oh, you're sick." And I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm not contagious." And then I leave to go do the shows, I leave, I go to the factory to bring some fucking money back home to the family. I come back, he's in the towel, he has a towel on his lap. He's clearly been sticky. He's like, "Oh, I feel sick." It's like, "Oh, you got sick in the last 3 hours? You little pug, you little puglet, you little Pugsley. What is this, Wednesday? No, it's Sunday. Don't call me Adam. You're Eve. And I'm about to get even with your ass." So yes, so yeah, I wanted to kill him. And
yeah,
now
he
the
looked
white
at
world's. Yeah,
he looked at you for 5 seconds, and after you've been sick for a week, and he's like, "Oh God, it got into me too."
Yeah, he's like, "You know how you're sick and everyone doesn't feel bad for you? Well, I'm sick and everyone has to feel bad for me." And it's like, you better call your mama. You better write your mom a fucking letter and I'll take it to the post office because we're pushing through. Now split it wide open for a real one. And then I busted in him. Yeah. I haven't said anything nasty in like 5 days. And then Sophie threw me a lovely birthday. I went to the Botanical Gardens on Monday and Meiningers. And what else was there? We had dinner. Okay.
I heard that you pissed on your mom's headstone at Botanic Gardens. I don't like that at all. Is that like an inside joke or something? That's not cool to me.
My mom always said, "Hey, if I ever fucking get buried in the state of Colorado, you better come and piss on it whenever you're 100 miles or less."
Well, it's like I understand that she's not in there. Like you weren't pissing on her body because she's not there. But the headstone represents her and her life. So peeing on it, to me, I don't know. I guess you were sick or whatever, so you were feeling like a bad boy.
Mommy
this is just what I've heard. This is just the rumor. I don't even know if it's true, but it does sound like something you would do.
Look, I was waiting to address these allegations that Westward so callously published. Most of it was piss. All right, that's all I'm going to say. Okay,
I do know
everything did come out of my wang, but it wasn't all urine. That's all I'm saying.
when you're a ways away from a bathroom, you think it makes more sense to go than to hold it and like run around looking for a proper receptacle.
Coors Park rules.
Yeah, Coors Park. That's what they call it.
I don't want to say the real name lest we get sued.
Tomorrow I have to go up to Denver to do a Lucha Libre and Laughs right by Coors Park, Coors Stadium. And I'm going to be real nasty with it. I've got 2 ideas for funny Rockies promotions. One is bag of hair day. Like, hey, next weekend, first 1,500 people get a bag of hair. Like, the Rockies just really not giving a shit.
Now, is it a wig or is it just loose hair like we used to give away to our patrons?
It's loose hair, but it is all human hair. That's the guarantee. This is not like cheap knockoff. It's not squirrel
mule hair. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not. That's not horse hair.
Donkey hide.
It's real human hair, but not in a wig form. Not in a real usable form. It's a collectible. Is the bag? You don't do something with the hair unless you maybe get an autograph or 2 on the bag of hair from players.
I can help you make this idea even better. It's a double header. So the first game, it's shave a dude day game, and then at night, it's all the hair you can stuff. So they just leave the hair from the day game event, and then they hand out little bags to people when they come in for the night game, and it's just everyone in the bleachers just stuffing, making little pillows. You could hand out spray adhesive, and it could be like, decorate a bald guy night, whatever you want it to be. What's it called? Like Montfort Square or some shit?
McGregor. I think
McGregor.
is that area where the dueling pianos were. Howl at the Moon, I think, was the name of the bar. Did a show there for some reason. I can't remember who would have put it together, but
yeah.
But like the early, like
that's the
thing. They didn't want to. What?
Well, it's just like every bar in Denver.
What?
I went to a random Mexican restaurant and on Monday, and it was a bar that we did stand up in. Where now it's a Mexican restaurant with like a Michelin notation. And I remember this show, it was like some weird jazz club, and Brian Hawker got a lady to show us all her pussy. So that was the memory I had at my birthday dinner.
Are you talking over right by the movie theater downtown?
No. I know that place. That was Jazz at Jack's. This is at like 21st and Larimer by that Big Al's pawn shop place.
Okay.
There was like a little jazz club there for a while, and they let us degrade the stage. And Hawker got a lady to show her flower to everybody. And I said, hey, I'm never going to quit this.
Yeah, there's something going on here that I want to be a part of.
Yeah.
These are my people.
Is it better if I can just reveal the light whenever I want, or should I turn it on and off still? What's
No, you need the act of the light not being on and then turning on, you psycho.
Well, that was a bad idea.
Yeah, leave it off for now. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the other Rockies promotion that I have is Kick in the Dick Day. First 1,200 people in the door, kicked right in the dick. There's a picture. You have to pay for the picture if you want the commemorative Polaroid of the kick in the dick. Otherwise, it's just the kick in the dick, and that's free, and you're on your way to your seat. And if you don't have a dick, they give you one. They like give you a little dick, and then you get kicked in that dick, and then you have to give it back.
What if the smaller dick is bigger than the one you brought in?
Well, no, you don't have one, and then you get it.
Can you still have it?
It's not.
Well, I know, but let's just say like you come in and you have a dick. But then they show you this like stunt dick, and you're like, "Holy cow! Can you imagine? Can you pop that one on like a thimble on a thimble?"
I would imagine they want it to be a bigger dick so that the kick hurts more. So I don't know that it's a small one. Oh, you're saying
right?
Bigger
You
than
walk
the one
in,
you have, yeah.
Yeah, you walk in, and you're like, "Holy cow! What is it? Free huge dick night?" What is it? Dreams coming true? I like
so. Yeah, hopefully that'll be. Hopefully that'll be fun.
You know what's not fun?
I'm just gonna go up and come back.
Listen to this, Lund and or Becker. So, my sister, of course, got me a Boston cream
pie.
Thank you, Becker. Yes. Well, some people say cake, and it upsets me. Boston cream pie, and there was candles in it. So there I am in front of my best friends, Jansikok, David Borey, Mel. Mel was there. This is not a situation to be made a fool of. So I go to blow up. I
a lot of movers and shakers.
There's a lot of power players. It's a real salon that we're throwing there. And my wife, my wife got her fucking hair dyed black, and she looks like the lady in Big Lebowski.
It's not black; it's dark brown.
Oh,
right.
Oh, it's black, and it's everything you want it to be.
She looks cool. Yeah. Saw a picture of her and Katarina, and they both looked really, really nice. And I didn't crank it to them at all.
You definitely didn't screenshot it and zoom it, did you? You definitely didn't put it on the projector.
I didn't put that into some type of AI porn app that I paid $50 for.
You didn't tell Creech that you're all out of coffee. You need some for the morning.
Yeah, hit the road, toots. Well, I freaking came. I went and got her, and then came all the way back here and set up upstairs, so that they could do their thing, so that she could do whatever she wanted without me screaming at her, "Hey, shut up!" Or telling the dog to quit, playing with its squeak toy because, Daddy's at the factory. And,
this is how I pay the rent.
Yeah,
this is how I pay for those mice.
Hey, shut up.
You all like those mice you had for dinner? Well, this is what keeps them cold.
I went and got her because it was slow at Mutiny. And then like 5 minutes ago, she said, "I have to go back. Paul is getting crushed." So that sucks.
That's a good impression.
Yeah, that's her.
You sounded just like her. Ah, shit, Lund. I got to get back to the factory.
So go ahead. You have a beautiful banana cream pie / cake. It looked like a cake to me.
It was Boston Cream, so everyone shut up. And so, they sing to me. They sing all the versions, all the songs of their people. And then I go to blow out the candles, and I wish for, I make a wish. I can't say what the wish is.
You're not allowed, or else it won't come true.
Well, you know what else really seals the deal on a wish coming true? Blowing out all the candles at once. You have to blow them all out, or else you don't get a wish. And you only get one wish a year, maybe two if you're Irish. So this is my yearly wish.
Unless you subscribe to this whole, it's 11:11, it's 4:44, make a wish. How about no? That's just time. Yeah. That's just the time of the day. And guess what? You're late for work. You get into the factory. I heard that Sophie wanted to get you a Boston Scream Cry, which is where the pie screams and or cries when you try to blow out the candles. You cut into it. No! Boston Scream Cry.
I know. I turned the light on for you. Yeah, it was so good.
I should turn the light on in here. I look like I'm in a cave.
You're pink. You're like red and vaginal. It's weird looking.
I don't know. You are very pink.
What?
Yeah.
That doesn't get any sense at all.
Maybe in the last 2 days.
Did someone think you were a ham and glaze you?
I slept all day yesterday.
Where? Out
flush?
On a raft in the middle of a lake?
No.
Wait. Hold on. Did you take a bunch of creatine?
No.
Oh. Well, then...
Niacin? I'm trying to pass a drug test.
I don't know what's going on.
Took a bunch of niacin. That's what you meant when you said creatine, right? Is niacin.
Now just a fact checker. So anyway, blow out the fucking candles, and then, much like the secrets that you try and keep hidden, they come back one by one, reigniting. I blow them out again. Hey, what's going on here? Well, hopefully I don't have lung cancer. I start thinking I have lung cancer. I'm like, well, surely I have the power in these big old lungs to put out these weak flames. Blow them out again. Took about 10 blowouts before Sophie says, ha, they're prank candles. Shows me the box. Reignite candles. I thought these were only in movies and television.
What?
Are you serious?
I didn't think they were real. I'd never seen them out, IRL. And
I watched the video. I thought you were playing along.
No, not at all.
I thought you were playing
I was keeping my cool. That was me, like, everything's fine.
They worked. They pranked you. You weren't in on it? Holy shit.
Not in on it and pissed. Secretly pissed.
Whoa.
38 years old. Pissed at prank candles. This is the only wish I get all year. I said that to Sophie. I said, I only get one wish. And you ruined it.
So literally, like, you had the same reaction that a child does, which is to get mad and scared and holy shit. That's nuts, man. I thought it was so funny to watch because I thought, you were doing a classic, like, what the hell?
No, man. That's me. That's me fucking tapping on the glass.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
And I didn't say anything about how upset I was until about 20 minutes later. And I wasn't that upset, but I was like, that's kind of a shitty thing to do to a guy on his birthday. So I turned to Mel. I turned to Mel and David and I say, hey, those candles? Yeah. And they were like, yeah. And I was like, I didn't really like that. And David, of course, went, what do you mean? And I said, I don't know, man. It's my birthday.
Also, so it wasn't, right? It was the first.
It's the only party I get. It was like, look, it's a ridiculous thing to feel. I had a great day, but there was like a moment where I was just like, what the hell is this? Come on. Like, Emmy, you knew about this? Everyone knew about it. So yeah, then there was like 30 minutes of us just laughing our asses off at me explaining myself. Jansen Cox like writhing on the ground, you know. It was just an A+ evening. And then the next day I flew to Amsterdam. And that's where this episode ends. Thank you guys.
You wish.
Oh, whoops. Yeah. No, I don't wish. I'm really glad to be talking to you. I'm laughing. I haven't said anything out loud except for like yesterday. I had a big talking day yesterday, but I got to Amsterdam at like 8 a.m. Got to the apartment, slept from fucking 10 to 6 p.m. Woke up, walked around till 2, back to bed, 2 to 10. And then I had a big day in Amsterdam. You guys have been to Amsterdam, Becker?
Yeah.
I have not.
You love it here.
Amsterdam,
Lund.
I like Amsterdam. I don't love it. The buildings leaning in makes me like on the verge of a panic attack all the time.
They got prank buildings?
Yeah, all the ones on the canals lean forward like just a degree or two.
Right, enough to freak you out.
And then all the Dutchmen are always there pushing them in, and then they move right back out right away. And no one's wishes come true. I wish it was a dope building.
I think of Ted Lasso was there, and like whatever other random movie shows that have taken place there. So I feel like I have an idea of all the flowers and bicycles and canals. Mm-hmm. Did I
nailed it?
Get
That's it.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't love it because like too much weed tourism, like a lot of annoying weed people, right? And then so the locals are pissed.
Right. They're trying to dissuade specifically Brits from going there on stag parties because they just terrorize all the women.
Mm-hmm.
The most CCTVs in the world, or CC television cameras, like security cameras, are right around the brothels in the red light in the central part of the canal. And I learned this from a billionaire.
Oh yeah, God, you have so much to tell us.
I know. So anyway,
But first, let me tell you about my bartending shift.
Go ahead.
No, I'm kidding. I do have
something good happen. Did someone sexually intimidate a woman in the bathroom?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah. So anyway, I had a day where I went to 3 different parks and I walked around because I stayed outside the canals because that whole thing you just described, dude. Amsterdam is like the top place for if you're out right around like 8 o'clock. They start coming out. And you'll see these packs of dudes in matching T-shirts, and they all have sunglasses on despite there being no sun. And they're all just kind of walking around, like 8 of them, you know, like this. Just it's like they can't tell if they're ghosts or not because they're all fucked up on space cakes and truffles. Okay. Yeah. So there's just like a pack of 8 dudes walking like shinobis, like they're trying to grab all the bells off the mannequin in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2. So it's like it's those guys, and then just like
they think they're invisible. If they move slowly enough, nobody can see them.
Oh yeah, and then just a lot of like super horny dudes, you know, who are there on their own, and then weed party, that kind of thing. But I stayed outside the canals. I stayed in the west side of the city, and it was just super cool, calm, relaxing. I got lost in the Miracle Garden. If anyone here is in Amsterdam, go to Erasmus Park and go to the Miracle Garden because they just have an entire hanging like outdoor room of wisteria, which is those purple like vine plants, which I was calling lilac and lavender until an old woman corrected me rather shittily. I said, "Oh, shoot!" I was just sitting there like looking up, just
a few days ago, or last time you were there.
No, this was 2 days ago. I'm just like pinned, staring up at it, and she was like, "Oh, you like the flowers?" She was like Irish or something, and I was like, "Yeah, I love lilac." And she went, "Oh, honey, it's wisteria," and like carried on her way, laughing over her shoulder.
Were the parrots there?
What's up?
Were the parrots there?
I don't know if her parents were there. She was pretty old.
Parrots.
They're dead.
Very good.
This light's going to be a fixture for the next month, so hopefully I don't burn it out the bulb too early. But no, I didn't see any parrots. I didn't hear any squawking.
Damn.
And this was funny. A guy messaged me on Instagram after my big day out the first day, and it was a photo of me laying in the grass under a tree. And he said, "Hey, man, big fan. Saw you today, but you were writhing on the ground, and I thought you were tripping, so I didn't want to bother you." I don't think I was. I don't remember writhing in any way. I definitely wasn't writhing to a degree where it would prevent anyone from saying hello. You know.
Well, maybe he looked over right when you were getting comfortable, because sometimes you wiggle.
There was a water bottle I was trying to use as a pillow, and I was doing like this kind of thing, like trying to fit it in my hump, you know? So, yeah. But he was like, yeah, I wanted to say hello, but you were writhing too hard.
He thought you were on DMT.
Yeah. Exactly that. So that was fun. And then on May Day, May 1st, my first big day, I went and saw a movie in the Anarchist movie theater about it was like 1973 to 2020. It was these Scottish foundry workers who went on strike in solidarity with these Colombian mine workers. And so they have all this like old footage of like these like very proud like Glaswegians being like, "No one's free till we're all free. The boots on all of our neck," you know? And they're like torching factories and shit in the 70s. And then they catch up with these gentlemen like 50 years later, and they're like, "So, was it worth it?" And they're like, "Oh, it was a waste of fucking time. Nothing comes from nothing. And it was a shitload of nothing. I'm still working at the factory. Is there anything better? My son works here. My grandson works here. Nothing happened." And it was me and a big fat lady who reeked. And then this very old couple who I think were diddling each other. Whoa. And the room fit like 20 people. It was a very weird way to spend May Day. Yep.
The old couple was getting it on. Maybe they were making it stink in there.
No, it was the big fat lady. She smelled like every house venue, every co-op, every group living situation I've been to. Whoa. It's just like this weird reek of like not like pussy yeast, but like yeast, you know? Like the actual smell of yeast. Yeah, like sourdough starter. So it is probably pussy yeast. Somebody's baking bread.
Damn. She smelled like a place that houses like 12 people. She smelled like Mouth House, which was a collective, it was a group effort to make it smell like that. And she did it.
She smelled like all the mouths in Mouth House, which is even worse.
It was funny to see that picture of you in front of Mouth House today, which looks like a giant dollhouse, manicured lawn. And
yeah,
you wouldn't think that we were tearing it up in there.
Well, yeah. Sophie was just standing there taking a picture of me, and she's like laughing too hard to take the picture. And I'm like, "What's going on?" And she's like, "I threw up on that roof a bunch." I was like, "You sure did, Fee. You sure did."
Shit, man.
Anyway, that's neither here nor there, and probably overall dangerous to the success of this podcast. I need to blow my nose into this sock.
Ugh.
Oh yeah, you're grossed out?
Are you gonna?
I think it's a pretty good idea.
As long as you throw it away.
I was like all sick, and then I flew out here and I just had my nose buried in different flowers, and I was getting high as hell. Oh my God. Getting so high. Becker, the best was a lemon pie rosin. It was from actually a fan's head stash. I was wearing a Stuff Island hat at a dispensary, and the guy was like, "Stuff Island." Then he looked up and went, "Whoa!" And he, recognized me, and then he just fed me dabs in there. This was on my this was yesterday. This was my birthday. I turned 38. All the haters said I couldn't pull it off. Here we are. Looks like
the doctors all agreed there was no way that you would see 36, let alone 38.
That's what gives me guts. So. I get hit up by this guy who's like, he's seen me do stand-up on like 3 different continents, I think. And he came to my show in Amsterdam last time, and he had his like security guy with him. I don't know if you remember this story, but I like riffed with the security guy and kept being like, "Are you like his hired security? What's your fucking deal? Are you some crypto millionaire?" So, and he ends up he was. So it's this guy who, if you like know the history of crypto, you probably know who this guy is. And he owns a home in Amsterdam. And he says, hey, if you'd like to tour Amsterdam tomorrow with a local, I'd love to show you around. So, hey, this old pig knows a free truffle. All right. Mm-hmm. So I was like, of course, mysterious billionaire. So I meet up with him, and he showed me all around the Jordan neighborhood of Amsterdam, and like everywhere we went, we met at this bar. Like they're opening, he's there. He already has a beer and a little shot in front of him. Little beers, very classy. But like he was the fucking mayor. Everywhere we went with this guy, you know, he's walking by the maitre d's in front of restaurants and like walking up, and they're flipping his nose, and he's like sack tapping them. You know,
a bunch of grab ass, huh?
Dude, we went to 10 bars, and he had 10 little beers in the course of 7 hours. And every place we went to knew who he was, and he never paid for a thing because he has a tab running throughout the entire city of Amsterdam that his friends can also use. So he's just set up this entire web of like generosity, and probably the most interesting guy I've hung out with in a while. I never met Kid Rock or anything, but this guy was nuts. And at one point I was like, so you're like supervillain rich, right? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, is it like billions or trillions? He's like, I don't even know, man. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And then he told me some fun stories about he used to have to arrange these parties for like, oil billionaires out there in the Middle East. And he said that one time he paid for 400 prostitutes with $1.2 million in gold. And that like it was like in his room, and he had to like weigh it out on like scales to pay in gold. I was like, hey man, you know, I've got some pretty good Bonvoy points accruing. We're both leading interesting lives. I was like, I was recently pranked by some birthday candles. If you'd like to hear more. I was recently infuriated by some prank luminaries. But yes, so I hung out with him like for like 7 hours, and it was just I asked him a bunch of questions. He was very cool. He was very nice.
It was just the two of you and his security guy?
Mm-hmm. Following at a distance.
And like nobody like met up with y'all for a drink or anything? It was just that's pretty fun.
One-on-one. He showed me his home. I met his wife. She's a former ballerina. She was gorgeous and so sweet. Like, I'm trying not to divulge too much because it was just a nice afternoon between new friends.
You said if you know anything about crypto, you know who it is. So you're leaving some breadcrumbs.
Well, I don't think I'm like saying anything unsavory or untoward.
You hung out with Peter Thiel. Who cares?
Well, I was worried that he was going to be like a, human slaver of some kind.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
No.
It ended up just crypto, which hasn't hurt anybody.
Well, yeah, but dude, his life, he's just a guy from somewhere in North America, and he's going to school in Europe, and it's like 2009 or 10, and there's some girl at a bar. He's, young, and she's like, what do you do? And he doesn't want to say that he's like at college being a dork, so he's like, I'm a photographer, and she's like, whatever. Next day she calls him, says, hey, my friends are having an event for something called blockchain, and they need a photographer. So he's like, okay. He goes. It's the first crypto event in all of Europe. It's like 2010. Next thing you know, he's like at every one of these events moving forward, receiving. I mean, it's just it's unfathomable amounts of money this guy has.
Yeah,
but also he was cool.
Yeah. When did you and Dave T get into it?
Fighting?
Crypto.
Oh, my dad got in like 2013, and I was in like pretty close after that.
Yeah, I kind of remember hearing about it and thinking, oh, sounds dumb as hell. Also, I didn't have any money to invest anyway, so I was out.
Yeah, you were never in.
Yeah. Couldn't have gotten in. Wouldn't have if I could have. Wouldn't have trusted
it if you did. Mm-hmm. And, my dad had like Wired magazine when I was in high school, so he knew about it early, and then he like finally figured out how to buy it, and now he's got that golden hand. I tell you about this?
No.
My dad has a golden hand, like it's like a hand. It's his hand, but it's covered in gold now. It's insane. Weird guy. No money left. He blew it all on that. But yeah, it's a real deal gold hand.
that he can put onto his hand like a glove or what?
No, like his hand has been turned to gold, but it's still organic. It's like a bioorganic gold, and he likes to, like every now and then he'll like grab his cock and be like, "I'm King Midas," you know. It really sucks. It really sucks, honestly.
Did you catch this woman that he's been stalking?
I ogled her from across the courtyard.
Is she young or is she his age?
She's French. It's hard to tell.
Is this appropriate or? Oh, okay.
She's across the courtyard in a window, and my dad was like, hey, buddy, points up, and I was like, what? And he's like, she's there a lot. I was like, all right, dude. Come on. Come on, man.
Dave just peeking out from the side. One time he peeks from the top. He comes down upside down to leer.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like
Bat style. He unfurls like the blinds. Yeah.
Yeah. Shows the gold hand.
Yes, hand. So I hang out with this guy from 11 till 6. At 6, I need to leave. He has to go pick his daughter up. So I leave and I walk. I'm in the canals for the first time since I've been there. And that's when that guy recognizes me and I get the free dab of lemon pie. So now it's like 6:30. I have dinner at 7 o'clock with my friend Emily and her husband, who is the rapper known as LP from the band Ring the Jewels, which I've been a big fan of forever. You know, I say ring 'em loud,
ring the
jingle
diamonds.
jangle those jewels. Yeah.
Give me the stones.
So now I have like a half hour to kill, and I'm just in the middle of like the Amsterdam tourist district, and I have this like moment of rhapsodic just self-fulfillment where I'm like, man, you just hung out with a billionaire, and then a guy gave you a free dab, and now you're gonna go have dinner with a white rapper, and you're in Amsterdam. This is your birthday. And I just stood there like, I have very few moments of like actual fulfillment, but for some reason I was like, this is a nice birthday. This is what an interesting man does for his birthday. And then I went and had dinner at a Szechuan restaurant with LP, who couldn't have been nicer. And Emily Panic, of course. He wasn't racist. That's his whole thing.
It's funny that you said nicest.
Right, well, it's tough because English isn't my first language anymore.
You're immersed over there.
I'm Dutch now. Mm-hmm.
Dutch,
I'm a little stroopwafel.
Vietnamese.
Put me on your coffee. Let me melt. And so there was a bit of a feeling out, when two alphas come together.
Well, because you've met him like what, in passing a couple times or something?
Never met him. I know Emily.
What's the
Emily was one of Claire's friends,
Okay, yeah. I knew there was some type of connection or a couple degrees of separation.
And I know she lives in Amsterdam. They live in Amsterdam.
Oh.
So that's why I hit her up. I was like, hey, man, I'm coming to Amsterdam. And then, so yeah, there was a moment where I was like, hey, so you're from New York? And he was like, oh, yeah, man. And I was like, so you were in Williamsburg in like early 2000s? And he's like, man, I've been in Brooklyn since 1975. And I was like, okay, fuck. This is the reigniting candle situation all over again. But then I was like, were you there when Japanther was going on? And he said, yeah. If it's been happening in New York since 1975, I was there. And I said, oh, so you saw the Ramones when you were in diapers?
He counts it. Yeah. Cause he was technically in the same city or whatever.
Yeah. So when I say that,
man.
When I say that, he goes, all right, I get what you're saying. I like Japanther. That's a good band. It's cool. You know about them. And then we were like fast friends. He invited me back to his houseboat. I smoked weed on his houseboat. And then I walked across the happy city last night for an hour and went to bed. It was a lovely birthday.
Are there bikes everywhere the way that there are Lime scooters? That sucks.
No.
Isn't that a constant pain in the dick?
Yes, but it's not fair to compare the two because the bicyclemanship there is through the roof. They're very good at what they do.
It's scary to get on a bike because you have to participate in like a crazy exacting culture. Like it's so scary to fuck up on a bike in Amsterdam. I was terrified. I didn't want to do it. I was also caked.
Yeah.
When were you there? Too. You went there for work for like a week? I don't remember.
Yeah, we went there for like a week before we had to do work in Spain.
Weed stuff.
Yeah. and we got fucking wrecked.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you what, it's pretty easy to bring back all the hash you want from Amsterdam to Paris.
Yep.
That's all I'll say. On the train, my God.
Whoa.
No one gives a shit. Yeah, the bicycle thing, like I wanted to get a bicycle because I have every time I've been here before, but I've never been here alone. And I don't like the idea of like being on a bicycle, falling, hitting my head.
Bleeding out. Yeah, nobody
no
cares.
one knows. No one cares. Literally, people are like dragging my fat buddy out of the bicycle lane so they can go play Ultimate in the park.
Kicking you into a canal.
Yeah, just running over my head with their big bicycles, jumping my body, posting it. That kind of thing.
Hey man, as a guy messages you, hey man, I saw you writhing around. I didn't want to bother you. You were bleeding out. You're like kind of writhing around. I don't know. I didn't.
Kind of like a death rattle type thing. I don't know.
It sounded like you were saying help, but I thought maybe you were singing along to a Beatles song or something. So I just figured I'd leave you be. What the fuck? What happened?
No, I'm here.
Oh, okay. You're just trying to prank me?
No pranks. I hate pranks. I hate digital pranks. It said the recording would not be fine, Becker. So, sorry.
What?
Yeah, it flashed out and said, "You're boned."
None of this counts.
It said, "Lights out in Hollywood." It didn't say that. It said your recording will be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it said that either.
I wish my wife was here with me and Duddy. I rode the train 4 hours, got here, me and the Dud man hung out. It fucking hailed insano. As soon as we tried to go outside to get some bread, it's just nuts. To the point where when we were walking back from the grocery store, there was like a lake in the street that we're staying on, and we everyone's trying to figure out how to get across it. And then this one young woman in cargo boots, or not cargo boots, what are they called? Mechanics boots? Combat boots, yes. She's like, hushaboo, some French shit, and steps into the pond up to her knee. And everyone's like, ha 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 ha. We all loved it. It really brought people together. Because she was like, she made it seem like we were being pussies, and then she stepped in it all the way up. And that was nice.
Which means it went all the way in to the boot. Mm-hmm. Now her feet are
My
swimming.
dad, fucking 70-year-old Dave T over there, he figured out how to get through that shit right away. He set the precedent. He found the bricks that were elevated, and we all tiptoed across them. I was very proud of him. And then, of course, he gets back here, and he's on the phone trying to transfer $100 between two accounts, and it's taking 3 hours. But he's capable of a lot of stuff.
How long is he over there?
Whole time, baby.
So you're not going to get anything done.
I'll get plenty done. I was writing before this, and I'll be writing after this. Although, I don't know, dude. Here's the thing: is I was telling Becker my new protocols. I'm not compelled over here to go to a fancy restaurant. I'm not compelled to have a drink. It's all the things that I always was so worried about achieving on vacation in Europe are now I just, literally just walking around looking at shit is all I've done that I typically do. And I'm, not hungover, and I'm not sitting down for long meals that cost me a bunch of money. So it's been nice. I've only been to a restaurant once since I've been here, and it was for my birthday dinner. Here's a weird question. I go to dinner with Emily and LP and their friend Jeff. I know Emily okay. Jeff was there. Jeff was cool. Jeff was this black guy from Boston who was super stoked.
To meet you or about everything?
Just about everything. He got there. They had huge menus. I was like, Jeff, they already ordered. They nailed it. And he went, oh, yeah. And I was like, all right, so Jeff's cool. So we get to the end of the meal, and we're having a conversation about saying no to work, because he's going out opening for Wu-Tang Clan, which is cool, but it's a long trip, 2 months away from Emily. Emily didn't want to say no to some work, so she's not going with him. I'm like, in this year, today's my birthday, and this year I'm going to try and turn down and say no to things. And they all go, it's your birthday. And I went, yeah, it's my birthday. And they went, we've been here for an hour and a half. You didn't say it was your birthday. And I was like, well, yeah, I'm a 38-year-old man. Who cares, right? And they're like, but it's your birthday. And I was like, well, yeah, what, I get here and I say, hey, it's my birthday, everybody. And then you guys feel like you have to make a big special night for me. So they're like, well, it's just weird that like you didn't bring it up until now. And I was like, well, I just don't think it fucking matters. I think it's embarrassing if you're an old guy being like, it's your birthday. We get back to the houseboat. I didn't commit too bad of a faux pas. We get back to the houseboat. Turns out LP just had his 50th birthday party and all of his friends flew in for it. So he's a big birthday guy. And I said it's gay to have a birthday if you're over 12.
It's the gayest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah. Uh-huh. So then I'm sitting on this Grammy Award winner, friend of Obama, you know, I'm sitting on his houseboat and he's like, yeah, I love birthdays, man. All my friends came over for my 50th. And I'm like, aha. Now I understand what I did earlier.
Well,
but what do you guys do?
I wouldn't tell a group of strangers.
Yeah, what do you do?
I would say you guys are both wrong because I probably would have said something sooner than an hour and a half in or whatever. But I certainly am closer to you as far as who gives a shit than I would ever be to a big deal. And also, technically, whatever 50 maybe makes more sense to celebrate.
50
certainly
makes
than
sense.
38.
40 makes sense. Yeah.
40, whatever. But yeah, 50. I don't know. Yeah. Definitely closer to you, who cares, especially with with people you haven't met. With like strangers. You said, to have a cake with your friends in Denver and Sophie and Mel, sure,
yeah.
But I always
they're never going to hurt you. Those are the people you can trust.
Let your guard down a little bit.
Yeah. Just, hey, be yourself for once a year. You know.
Yeah, I always think it makes sense to have a dinner, but not. I hate when there's 20 people at a dinner. I think that's insane. But having people over, having a small dinner, and then a get together, whatever. Like, there's a lot of ways you can celebrate without it being really the center of anything other than the reason you're together. But then while you're there, it's not all about your fucking birthday. It's about talking and hanging out with your close friends.
Well, I know. And it's like, I've been in the situation where you're the guy that, you know, my wife knows someone and then we're going to go to dinner. I'm going to meet this person. And I'm a guy who they might have heard of before. You know, if they know my wife, they probably watched a clip of mine at the very least, you know? So then it's like they come to dinner and it's like there's already this like, oh, okay, I'm going to go. But, you know, we could be at home watching Bones with your Francis McDormand hair. You know, but no. So anyway, I just didn't want to put it on him to be like, I didn't want to put it on him like, hey, it's my birthday, LP from Run the Jewels. It's my birthday, you know. Anyway, so I think I'm right. It's my birthday. Can I hold your Grammy? Where's your Grammy? My wife's name is Emily. Want to switch?
I can take something from the houseboat, correct? Mm-hmm. Reminder, birthday.
Squatters' rights at sea. I'm the guest, and it's my birthday.
I'll leave at 12:01 when it's not my birthday anymore. But until then, I get what I want.
Until then, next stop, hell.
Yeah. Oh shit! I have to do another podcast in a half hour.
Whoa.
Whose?
We doing Rogan?
No.
JD Lopez?
No.
Okay.
This guy that hit me up. And, you know.
You know what? Doing JD Lopez's pod? Not a good idea. Kidding, JD.
No, this guy hit me up.
I know you and Becker write together or whatever.
Dude in Pittsburgh hit me up and asked if I would do his pod. Oh, and I think I mentioned it. He listed all the people that had done it. He mostly talks to actors, musicians. He hasn't talked to a lot of comics for whatever reason, but the podcast is mostly about like film, horror movies, music. And he said that he likes us. And I was like, you know, fuck it. I'll fucking do it. He sends me a list of people who have done the podcast, and I don't recognize anybody. Maybe like one or two names. And so I randomly look up
Dave
the
Landau.
second. Huh?
I said Dave Landau.
I wish. I look up
Dave Landau. He's done everyone's pod somehow. Every time someone's like, "Hey, you want to do my pod?" We've had 4 episodes. 12 people have heard him. Dave Landau's been our guest twice.
He might be in there because it was a long list of names. I picked the second guy's name and look him up, and he's a good looking guy, character actor. He was one of the he was in the gay gang in Shawshank Redemption. I don't know if they were called the Marys or something like that.
Yeah,
the Pretty Boys, but he was like the redhead. He's in a bunch of stuff, but he was in.
Oh, that guy?
He was in Shawshank. Yeah, that's like the second name. It's like, all right, this is a real who's that? But
I thought this was the host of the pod. Was that guy who I kind of have heard of? No. He was their big flagship guest.
He was the second name listed.
I see. He was the tent pole.
So I think it's a lot of, like I said, a lot of character actors. Certainly a working actor, good looking guy. But I didn't look up anybody else. I just thought, who cares, So I got to do that in between. I have to shit my brains out and then talk to this guy, John Fish. Keeps talking about the fishbowl, swimming. I'm excited for you to swim in the fishbowl.
Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, because his last name is Fish. I think that's the name of the podcast is the Fishbowl. So be sure to check that out.
I'm excited for you to swim in the fishbowl. That's like Toby saying, "Come play with
us." Yeah, no, he's got a catchphrase and he hits it early and often. Mm-hmm. Hopefully he's hopefully not a complete psycho. We'll see.
Speaking of Toby, he's just living in the woods.
I believe you. That's probably not a joke.
No, he was at the Comedy Fort, dressed up like Bush Bhagwan. Yeah, that's not the right guy. He was dressed like a manhunter. He looked like Becker's dad if he was dressing up for a graduation at Bounty Hunter Academy. He has a Beauvais or a Beauville, the same van we traveled in.
Yeah.
Oh. He's living in that in like a national park right now, just working. I was like,
nobody can
sense.
find
Sounds
him.
Good.
Nobody sees me unless I want to be seen.
Nobody smells me unless it's the last thing they ever smell.
Unless it's too late.
Come play with me in hell. Yeah. So I saw Toby. So you're going to come over here and see me?
Yeah. What? In 9 days or something, I'll be over there.
It's too many.
Yeah, a little ways to go. I'll meet you in Glasgow. We can we can talk to those foundry workers and convince them it was worth it. What they did mattered. It was important.
When do you get to Glasgow? The 13th or the 14th?
I don't know, man. One
Probably
of those
the
two.
13th. We get there the 14th, so you're going to have a day on your own.
I better not.
Why
You'll
not?
never find me. I'll disappear.
I know where you are. You'll be at the Taffy Factory. Glasgow's famous Taffy Factory. You're in there upside down like Winnie the Pooh in his wet dream. We're doing Glasgow, we're doing London, we're doing Manchester. That's the shows this month. So let's get in there, UK.
Let's make them count.
Right? Are you a UK sub? Well, if you are, tell literally everyone you've ever met in the UK that old Sam T and Caddy Wumpus Nate Lund are coming. Because we're at like 60 or 70%. We were at 65% sold last I looked. I want to get them out there. Join the Patreon. Listen to Becker's podcast. Why am I listening to this? Listen to the Funky Fresh Fish Bowl featuring John Fish.
Come swim with us.
Yeah. What else can they listen to?
Sounds like more Wide World soon.
Yeah, hopefully if Pat quits faking being sick, so
Pat's
his mom
really
will breastfeed
sick.
him more.
Pat's sick because he looked at you after you had not been sick for a few days.
Yeah, he's on the boob.
I'll be with Pat. Greeley, May 22nd, and then Casper, Wyoming, Rialto Theater, May 23rd and 24th. Me and Pat, we won't be in the same car because I'm bringing Megan and the dogs, so that's kind of funny. I could tow Pat in his Kia Soul.
You should tow him in like a wagon. Get a sidecar.
Sidecar for the Subaru.
Yeah. Wait, there's no room for him in the car? How?
No. The dogs take up the back seat. Megan's in the front, and then it's a hatchback, so he can't roll around in the back. It's not for rolling around.
It's not like the park where I was writhing to the point of ostracizing people. Yeah, man. Rolling so hard, I scared a guy away.
He wants to meet you, but he feels like he can't approach because you're writhing around.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, shit. I feel like we just scratched the surface of you over there. So stay tuned for more, I guess. We gotta keep dissecting your time over there. God damn it. That was good stuff.
And then good stuff. Join the Patreon. Let's get those. When we hit 10,000, what are we going to do?
Sounds like you're getting in a tub of slime nude.
Oh, yeah.
People didn't like that idea. They were like, oh, why doesn't he just do it himself? Why does this have to be a Patreon goal? It's like, I don't know. What the fuck? I can't be silly online.
Really? People
I would
people
pay
had
for
strong
the slime.
opinions about the slime gambit. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. They're like, why don't you just save your money?
Oh, yeah. What about this? Skankfest. See you in New Orleans. Tickets went on sale yesterday.
Yeah.
So, we'll see you down there when it's not super swampy in November. I'm excited.
I am so stoked to watch you experience Skankfest for the first time. I think you're going to fucking love it.
Yeah.
I love comedy. That's what I'm excited about. And I love people who love us. I like to talk to you for 45 seconds to a minute and a half, and then, hey, we got to go do something. I got to go over here.
You're going to be reduced to tears by the showering of love that you, Nathan Chode Lund, receive. What's your middle name? Pode?
Dwayne.
Darvin?
My middle name is Dwayne.
Also, why don't you give why don't you just send Becker a little kiss in the mail?
Who? Everybody?
That's a good idea.